Greetings, space travelers. Welcome home. You've just tuned your dial to Spaced Out Radio, the only place where you can own the night. I am your host, Mr. Rob G, and tonight we're broadcasting to you on our terrestrial affiliates across North America and digitally on TalkStream Live, KMPL, and Odyssey Radio. Remember, you can access our archives for free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. And while you're there, please hit the subscribe button. And don't forget, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where the options are endless. You can stay up to date with the SOR Newswire, get some official Spaced Out swag, plus, obviously, rock out to some Bumblefoot and so much more. Tonight, we have an awesome show for you. We have in the building, good friend of mine, Mr. Mike, Long Island Bigfoot. He's going to talk about some of the things that he's encountered and what's got him into the field and various other things. We're going to cover a lot of topics. So this is going to be a great show. So let me go ahead and hop in the chat and see who was first tonight. I wonder who was in the chat first tonight. Race fan with the gold. Then we got Derek Galloway with that silver. Okay, I see you, Derek Galloway. And we have Timothman with the bronze. So that's a solid top three right there. It's a solid top three. So yeah, definitely want to say what's up to everybody out here. And Long Island Bigfoot is in the back stage, so we'll be bringing him out shortly. But first, let me go ahead and just look and see who else we have here in the chat on this lovely Sunday evening. We have, we have Elena. Elena, thank you for coming, Elena. We have Jessica S. Thank you, Jessica, for coming through tonight. We have Paranormal Pixie Laura. How you doing, Pixie? Nice to see you. Thanks for coming. Chillgasm. Thanks for coming through. Avita NY. Thank you for coming through tonight. Thanks for joining the After Hours. Scott Scott Morian. Thank you for coming. Montauk is strange. Thanks for coming through to After Hours tonight. Angels Are Life. Thank you. Jadon 13. Thank you for coming tonight. Kevin Whip. Let's go. Let's get it tonight. We got Raymond. Thanks for coming through. Appreciate you. Nancy, thanks for coming. Val SWPA, thanks for coming tonight. Randy Petticoat, thanks for coming. Pyromedic, thanks for coming. Thanks for coming to After Hours tonight. Susie B, thanks for coming. Spaced Out Radio. Donna Spencer, thank you so much for coming. Cowboys 5 rings, soon to be 6 rings. Thanks for coming through. Carl Bittner, appreciate you coming through on this fine Sunday evening. Long Island Bigfoot in the back says Rob G the legend. Whoa, Long Island Bigfoot the legend, and we'll find out about that here in just a moment. We got Mike Jones. Mike Jones, thank you so much for coming through to After Hours and joining us on this Sunday. Monday for some of our viewers out there in Australia, and let me not forget that. Let's see, who else do we have? We're welcoming everybody in. Obviously, to Mothman in the building, standing strong. To Mothman. Okay. Silver Fox 1. Thanks for coming through. And before I continue, let me just say what Mike Jones says here. Mike Jones says, smash that like button. We would love to have you do that. Like it or not like it, let us know. Either way, let us know. As you know, this is we're rebuilding After Hours from the ground up. It's gonna be an epic place to be, the place that you are gonna want to be every Saturday and Sunday, guaranteed. So thank you for that, Mike Jones. Let's see. I know we got Black Dragon, of course. Black Dragon, thanks for coming through to the After Hours. Joe Zuniga, let's get it going. All right. And we know people are going to start to filter in. We know that. So we're going to give them a little bit of time. And I'm just going to, stop, pause. Stop and pause for the legend, Mr. Jim Goodall, saying, hey, Mr. Rob G, how does it go in Aloha to Nicole? And she is not in tonight, but we are expecting her at some point soon. So that's the legend, Jim Goodall. Honored to get that from you, guy. Appreciate you. And let's see, who else do we have here? Okay. Looks like Richard Elmore just came in. Thanks for coming, Richard Elmore. The Dog Man UK. Man. Love it. Thanks for coming through. Squatch Secrets. Let me put that up here. Sasquatch Secrets. Oops, I'm sorry. We know Dave doesn't like Squatch. Sasquatch, though. Sasquatch Secrets. Let's get it going. Facebook user Susan in Indianapolis is watching. So, hey, Susan, thank you for coming through, Susan. And yeah, it's feeling good tonight. You know, it's feeling like a really good show. And we're going to keep taking our steps and improving one night after the next. And let's see if we have anybody else. Yeah, race fan. Yeah, you were first in. I gave it up to you earlier. I don't know if you heard. We know, race fan. We know you were first in. You get the goal once again. Let's see. Okay, we have. Oh, I just lost the. Okay, chat is moving. Yeah. Okay. I know. Okay, there we go. Doubleday Elements. Hello from Tehachapi. I'm right over in Bakersfield. We're like neighbors. Thank you for coming through. I appreciate you. Want to see you come back. I haven't seen you in the chat before. Would love to have you hit that subscribe button. If you are new, definitely please subscribe and hit that notification bell because we go live 7 days a week here at Spaced Out Radio, and it's always something awesome going on. So definitely consider doing that for sure. Larry Meitzner, Thank you for coming through. AC Amy WC, thank you for joining us tonight. And Rex Goodrum, thank you for joining us tonight. Judy Wheeler, thanks for coming to the after hours. The great cryptid huntress, Jessica Jones, who actually is on Saturday and Sunday right before the after hours. So 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific time. Make sure you're there first. And then when she's wrapping up, just move right on over here. It's a great way to spend your weekend. So you got to definitely do that. Drake C, thank you for coming through to the after hours, joining us on this Sunday night. We're gonna get into some good conversation here in just a moment. We got my guy, Long Island Bigfoot, waiting in the back, and he will be out here shortly. Let's see who else I don't want to miss. You guys are all valuable, and appreciate you guys all coming. So I want to make sure that I say hello to you all. Lex Diaz, thank you for coming through. Thank you, thank you. And Catherine M, thank you for coming tonight. Catherine M. Danny Staten, thank you for coming through, Danny. Hope you enjoy yourself tonight. Let us know by hitting that like, leaving a comment too. Let us know. Let us know how you felt. Okay, race fan who gets the gold is on Troll Patrol tonight, guys. He's on Troll Patrol. Better watch out. All right, and I think we are caught up. We are. Okay, great. All right, so yeah, so we're gonna have a great time tonight. You know, this is a weekend wrap up. We're gonna end up getting into the week and getting back with Dave Scott starting tomorrow, Monday through Friday, where you know he crushes it as always. And yeah, so what we're gonna do before I bring in Long Island Bigfoot, actually, I might as well just bring him in because we can actually talk about these other things as well. So let me go ahead and set this up so I can bring in our guest for hours 1 and 2, Mr. Long Island Bigfoot. And how do you do, sir? How are you?
What's up, brother? How are you?
I'm doing good, man. So glad to have you here. As it says down here, this is Mike. What, Mike? Welcome to Spaced Out Radio After Hours. A lot of people know who you are out there, but for the ones who don't, we're gonna end up getting into some stuff so you guys can get familiar with this gentleman to my right. And let me go ahead and get up. Just wanted to bring this up just for. I'll save that. I'll save that. So let's just jump into it, Mike.
Let's get it.
So you have a channel that is uh, crazy popular right now, and you know I've gone over there and I've definitely looked at a lot of the things that you get into. Before we jump into the meat and bones of that, is with any guest that I have, I always like to start out in the beginning and talk about what made Mike Long Island Bigfoot? Where did you start in the beginning as a kid? How did this develop? And what leads us up to this point?
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you for having me, brother.
Yes, sir.
You know, I think so highly of you, so I appreciate you giving me a shout and bringing me up.
Appreciate you.
Um, yeah, so I guess we'll run it back to childhood briefly. Yeah, I grew up big Sicilian family. You know, not too much money. Like everybody lived at my grandparents. Like all my mom and her sisters and brothers and all the kids. We all lived in the same house. And we couldn't afford much, and like she would always ask me, like where I wanted to go on vacation. I was always say Scotland because I wanted to go to Loch Ness. I always had, I don't know, as a kid, I just had in my mind, like, you just got to get me there and I'm going to show you where Nessie is. Like, just got to get me
Yeah.
there. And like, looking back, I find that so, like, so funny, you know what I mean? And like, we'd always end up in Montauk. So at the edge of Long Island, that's where we ended up. Like, it was almost like, oh, where do you want to go? But like, that's where we were going to go anyway. It was kind of like an open-ended, you know, like a dead-end question, I guess. So like rhetorical. Right? So, but that's where we would go. And it was like our tradition. Me and my mom would just go out there and like get a flea bag motel on the beach and like, you know, go in the little open, you know, indoor pool and screened in spot. And it was like, it was our thing and we loved it. And we spent a bunch of money we didn't have. And like, you know what I mean? Just, you know,
Oh,
rich
I
for a
know it.
day. Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
rich for a day. And like, yeah, it was just fun. And so, you know, looking back, it's kind of funny that it was Montauk. And I still to this day wonder, like, why people flock out there and, like, you know, just spend a bunch of money. Like, there's a million places just like it on the way. But, like, I don't know. Everybody drives out there and, like, it's a mess getting out there. But a lot of great memories. And, you know, fast forward to like my teenage years, all that stuff kind of fades away, and you know, you start branching out on your own. And back in my day, like you kind of just got on your bike and went. You know, it didn't even matter.
Yeah.
Like you just had to like kind of check in once a day, and like I'm over here, like this is where I'm gonna be, and like that's it. Like you know what I mean? I'll go play
Those are the days.
handball,
Yeah.
yeah, handball, basketball, whatever. Like it didn't matter. Like nobody. It wasn't a thing. Like it wasn't a thing. Like now, like the kids are in the front yard and people call. Like you know, they call somebody. Like nobody's watching them. Like it's so different.
It
So
is.
anyway, like you know, so fast forward, I go, you know, I graduate and I get into all sorts of stuff, right? And like, I guess you know, people were experimenting with you know different things, and I found out I had addiction issues. So my experimenting kind of took me down a dark road, and
Mhm.
it wasn't too bad until it was too bad, you know.
Yeah.
And I tried to run kind of from everything. I had done every trade under the sun at this point, and like I went with a friend to the recruiting office like locally, and like because he didn't want to go by himself, I was just going to like rank on these guys, and I ended up signing up for the army. Like, and I know it sounds like a long story short, but it was really that simple. They were like, "Well, what do you got going on that's so good?" And I'm like, "You know what? I don't nothing." And I just kind of was like, that's how I was. Like I was just like, you know, whatever, I'll do it. Uh, I didn't really know what I was getting into. You know, I really didn't. And like a lot of people like, oh, I joined because of this, and like I joined because my dad was in, and like it was that simple for me. Like I just, I just stumbled in there one day, and like it was just another job to me. And you know, I got put my years in. I did like 2.5, and I was getting out. I was getting out the week my unit was going to Afghanistan, and I ended up signing, you know, stop lossing myself for like 15 months. And I went over there and caused all sorts of problems, you know, PTSD, and which kicked my addiction back up. Any work I had done, which really wasn't a lot of work at the time, looking back, but, you know, kind of just running from it. But it was still lingering. So when I got out, I, you know, came back. I got out of war and just kind of was like, bloop, you know, back on the streets by myself. End up coming back to New York and like, you know, so fast. I was like back in addiction, homeless, like nobody knew how to deal with me. You know what I mean? Like I didn't want to be dealt with. I want to be around nobody. You know. So eventually, I ended up going to you know treatment, and you know for both things. Uh, Everyone suggested I only do one at a time, addiction or PTSD. But I was like, look, if we don't, I'm telling you right now, I know me. You know, if we don't hit both of these at the same time somehow, uh, I'm gonna, you know, this boat's gonna sink on one side. Um, I promise you, it doesn't stay in a dark place for too long. I'll fast forward, but it was pretty bad for a while, and it took me a long time to, you know, go through a lot of inpatient, a lot of stuff. But in a nutshell, over the course of those like 6 years that I was getting like intense treatment and like trying to, get myself back. All that I lost, I kind of was like reset. And one of the things that happened to me over there was I got a traumatic brain injury, and I kind of think it hit the reset button a little bit on me. Maybe like kind of. I try to find silver linings and like something positive in things. So I think it kind of hit the reset button on me to the point where like I don't know. I don't know how else to explain it, but like it kind of wiped my slate clean, if you will. And and I think that's possibly, plus I was working I started working on like a spiritual side. I was doing yoga, trying to learn meditation. Not a lot of stuff was like, I couldn't get nobody, like nobody could come near me at the time, but I found this like yoga instructor who was like a Reiki master, and she would come near me with her Reiki hands, and like I would get so calm and like to the point where I would pass out. And like at this point I couldn't sleep for anything. If I shut my eyes, it was like all I saw was trauma. And she would just come near me and I'd be like, boom. And so I was like, I gotta see what this is about. So I started getting trained. Like I wanted to learn how do you do that? You know what I mean? Like, how did you do that? And like, how did you get that in you? Because I want that in me. You know what I mean? And so she became my my Reiki master. So I started like doing certifications and training in that. And then I started going to different, Reiki masters. It's kind of like when I was young, I was in like different martial arts and stuff. But I always wanted to like learn another one, like I was like, well, I don't want to keep going on this one. I want to go, we learned a lot of the basics here. Like, let's go try a different one. And like learn the basics here. Let's go try a different one. And that's just the way I always was. And kind of how I ended up in the Army. I was like, well, I did every other trade. They were like, well, what are you good at? I'm like, I don't want to do what I'm good at. Let's just put me in something I never knew, which was automotive mechanics, which I just hated. But
now, before you go further, I just want to stop real quick because I just want to commend you and applaud you for having the strength to tackle your addiction. You know what I mean? To come out on the other side of that. I also want to thank you for your service because there's a lot of us out there who just, haven't done it, don't have the guts to do it. And so I wanted to kind of look into, so when you came across this yoga master, and so and truthfully, when you go through life, like things like having an addiction issue and then tackling it, those sort of things, I feel like unlock you and unlock your mind. Like, would you be able to say, and then aside with the yoga and getting into that and kind of unlocking things, did you prior to that, all this happening, have any experiences, or did they happen once you had tackled these things and kind of got into that part of your life?
All right. So looking back, I had experiences. I just was so out of it that I didn't notice them. You know what I mean? Like I wrote them off as they were nothing, or I let people talk me out of them. But once I was there, like on this like spiritual level, I guess, finally, like this like plateau of peace. That's one of the things I received like telepathically from this Sasquatch. Like later on was, we like that you're a warrior that knows your peace, and I'll never forget those words because like it was so, a warrior that knows his peace, and I was just like, what? Like sometimes it sounds like Jedi talk to me, and I'm like, it makes you think for a while. Not Jedi, like Yoda, like they kind of like talk backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so let me not fast forward or rewind too much. So as this is occurring, at the end of that time frame is when I had my like face to face with Sasquatch. I call him Bubba. It just stuck. That's not his real name. It just stuck, and it's kind of like the running joke because like it reminded me of like, when you go into jail and like people are like, oh, you gotta go hit the big guy, you gotta go punch Bubba in the face or whatever. Like that is just like whatever, like it seems like this like unmovable force, like what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
and
Yeah.
That's just it. It's so stupid, but it just stuck, and I leave it there. So um that's when I bumped into him, and I was very, very hopeless, like as far as like society goes, and like what my place was, or like what I was gonna do with myself. And like I hate to say it, but like even though I had come so far, I really just felt very like I was at the end of my ropes. Like I went through all this work to find nothing. Like there's nothing out there for me. Like I don't want to go back into that. You know what I mean? I don't want to go back into that society. I don't want to go back to. I use the same references because it's the same stuff that like I could think of every time, like politics and traffic and 9 to 5s and rat race and shopping
Hmm.
and price gouging and this and that and stealing and this. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah, the machine is the
yeah,
machine. Yeah.
it's exhausting just even thinking about it. Um, but you can't be a hermit, right? Like it's just not. There's only so long you could do that. Like you can only stay in your shell for so long.
Yeah.
So when I bumped into him, it was like I was rejuvenated. Like wow, like I had purpose again. There was like something there, and like and it opened up this whole new like world. You know what I mean? Like wow, okay, so like sci-fi fairy tales, like everything, folklore, everything, all this stuff is possible now. And like
Yeah.
it just gave me this rabbit hole to dive in where I just was like excited again. And then I get this message again, right? Like one of the first ones I ever got that, oh well, you're gonna be an ambassador between peoples. Like you got the wrong guy. Like I don't want to go near nobody. Let alone I don't want to talk to them about nothing. You want me to talk to them about you? Like you are out of your mind. You got the wrong guy. And it was like almost like a sarcastic chuckle, like like no, I don't make mistakes, like and looking back, I guess I guess I got the right tools for the job, but at the moment I was like, no, like you're so way off, like there's no way this is gonna go down that way. But it seems to always work out. Now I don't think I'm gonna be the one to like prove this to the world, or like I'm not the guy that like chases science, or like that's not me. Like, but if I could help like somebody, or like you know what I mean, even if it's just
Yeah.
hearing somebody out and being like, damn, like I had some weird stuff happen too. Like that makes my day, my week, like it kind of keeps me just uh you know what I mean, right? Like motivated, and like gives me like
Yeah.
purpose,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's
I
nice to
agree.
have purpose slash passion.
Yeah.
um some people, and mind you, this don't make any money, right? But it doesn't matter when you're doing like what you love, right? It's like it's never work. People tell me all the time, they're like, when do you sleep? Like you're always going, you're always doing something. I'm like, it don't feel like it. Like it don't feel like it because
Yeah.
I'm not working. You know what I mean? Like it's not work to me. Right?
No,
Um,
you said it best. You said the passion to help people, and it doesn't matter if it's just one person. And I feel the same way too. And that's kind of, the reason why I started getting into this and doing this was for that exact same reason. I just had um a feeling 5 years ago where I said, what can I do? I asked myself, what can I do to help humanity? Something that I could do to add to the conversation. And I went through a list of things over the years, couldn't figure anything out. Then doors opened up to allow me to do exactly that. And you do it for the love.
uh-huh.
You don't expect payment to do it, and you just have a passion to do it. So I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
Um, and with that, so if you went back, say, to what would have been like, so with this space that you're in now, what would have been like the where you said Bubba, right? So this was the first encounter ever, like for you.
So it was to me at the time it was the first one, but like as time progressed, I realized I had had some before. I just didn't notice. I
Mm-hmm.
was so in the brainwashed state that
Mm-hmm.
it
Mm-hmm.
was meaningless. You know what I mean? It was completely meaningless. So if there was anything beauty or and if there was any emotion attached to any of them in previously, I was so mind,
Yeah.
mangled, whatever, that it was just a thing. It's just another thing, right? Uh, and man, it blows my mind looking back at how much I brushed off. But that's what you get good at, especially in combat. Like you learn. I mean, the most horrendous thing could go down, and you just learn how to just walk away and just stick it somewhere, and just like, well, can't deal with that right now.
Yeah.
We got to keep on soldiering on. And I mean, it obviously you got to deal with it at some point, but it does come in real handy when when sometimes the wrong thing happens out in the woods.
Right. Wow, that's heavy, man. That's actually pretty heavy. Uh, because I can obviously haven't been through that, been in being in combat, but I can understand the analogy of what you're saying in having to be able to put something away because you can't deal with it at the moment. You have to
Sure.
push forward. And then the fact that, prior to your first sighting, that you weren't focused, your eye, you weren't
Sure.
tuned in to looking for those things, though those things were probably there. And I think that's what happens to a lot of people.
Sure.
They are not tuned in, and they're just going about their daily day and daily life, daily grind, and then somehow, some way, through sometimes traumatic experiences, through even like DMT experiences, and meditation and yoga, things like that,
Yeah.
they get that key that unlocks them and
Sure.
opens their vision up,
Yeah.
right?
It
And I
could
think
even be
that's
a
kind of
simple.
what you're
Yeah.
describing.
It could be something like a child too, like somebody could have like childhood trauma, right? And they bury it, and they go through all life, and they buried it, and they go about their life, da 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 da, da, all through the motions, and then they have a child themselves, or they're about to have a child, right? And like all of a sudden that stuff comes up, and it's like, right, it's like this magical thing, and like this beautiful thing that enlightens you and makes you this next level person. But like at the same time, you gotta like bounce through this stuff to get there that you buried a long time ago. So there's a lot. I don't want to act like I'm some kind of like special case, because we all go through things. We've all had everybody's had a journey in a life, and some kind of everybody's got a story. Everybody. Like,
Hmm.
it doesn't matter what it is. Like, I just, it's worth facing. It's worth facing, because when you do come out the other side, you get yourself back a little bit. You know what I mean? And whatever that looks like. And for me, it was a completely new person, one I've never seen before.
That is awesome, and I can visualize exactly what it is that you're saying, and just like you said, everybody goes through something. So I wonder, and we probably have to ask a lot of other people, experiencers, and I know there's some actually in the audience right now that could probably resonate with what Mike is saying right now. And Montauk is strange, says Mike has helped me and taught me a lot in the last couple of years, and I could see how, you know what I mean, just life experiences, sharing those things, and being able to relate to things like that. So the question I would ask to other experiences out there is, does this story resonate with you? Like, have you been through the exact same thing? Like, did you have things in your life that you had gone through and then came out the other side, and with the newfound like sense of awareness when it comes to just this paranormal and encrypted space that we're in, extraterrestrial space that we're in? I kind of feel like that might be, the story that a lot of people actually can resonate with. So I'm looking through the chat here, just seeing if anybody wanted to chime. Okay, and I'll put this up from Raymond. And also, real quick, while I'm sitting there talking, there saying this, I want to thank Cat Chaser, and Kira I Am. Thank you so much for your support of Spaced Out Radio. We appreciate that. Obviously, we love it. So keep it going. And let me see what we have back in the chat. Um, let's see. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So actually, I mean, it's a great question. Is it question time yet?
That's what I was
Not
looking
yet.
at.
Not yet. But I would say put if you do put your questions in all caps, that way I can save those and then we will pose those to Mike in our hour 2 here. So any questions you guys have or any comments that you want directed towards Mike, please put those in caps so I can save them, and then we will have those addressed in hour 2. So thank you for that, Amy WC. Thank you very much. All right. Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to stop you, Mike. Go ahead.
Oh, I
Go
don't even
on.
know where I was. It's all good.
So yeah, and I was just really kind of pointing the fact that there's other people out there that resonate with what it is that you're saying about your experience and what you've gone through and how you came out the other side. So I guess what we could do is talk to us about. So let me ask you this first. When you were younger, did you have any paranormal experiences, or did you ever get, in just something weird or crazy that now you think back on it and you're like, wow, okay, that was probably that.
Nothing, nothing I can really think of for sure. Nothing I can really think of. When I look back hard, I do think I fall somewhere into. I don't like categories. I don't like labels necessarily
Hmm.
because because I don't know what they are. Like I don't think anything goes in a box. But I guess I had some kind of empathic tendencies. I was always like drawn to animals, and I can kind of remember like almost like a Doctor Doolittle. Like I kind of remember. I don't know if I said it to people, but I remember thinking all the time like what is like wrong with people? Like why don't they understand what's going on here? You know what I mean? Like it's so simply like written on their forehead. The animal's forehead, or like it's so like I could just tell what people were dealing with, or animals were dealing with, or what they were going through, and um that's about all I can remember. Like from that, I don't remember anything paranormal necessarily, and that's kind of what like one of my big things is like I was just a regular dude for like a little while, for a lot of while, and then all of a sudden it was like I'm not good at finger snapping or whistling, but it was snap of a fingers. All of a sudden, things went into like high, I guess like fast track,
Man, okay. So let me ask you this. So say, okay, I'm going in because I plan on doing this and I want to do it. And maybe we could hook up and do this, but I want, and obviously, we have Dave Scott who does this as well. Want to get out there and kind of, have an experience like this.
Yeah.
Like, what, I'm coming with you. Like, how should I prepare or come in order to jump into that world with you and have an experience?
Um, like manifesting and like or intent never hurts, right? Kind of like putting it out there to the universe and like wishing it into will. I know it sounds silly, but like I refer to pixie dust a lot, right? Like, what's the simplest thing? Like, Peter Pan is going to teach you how to fly, but a lot of people can't do it because they can't just simply believe it's possible, and that is all that holds them back. That's it, right there. They
Mm,
can't get right, and like so, like kind of going out there with that mindset and like and understanding that it's there, not going out kind of like skeptical and like, well, this is going to be a bunch of BS. Like that's kind of step one. I always with the with the understanding that you might be forming a relationship, because that's important. Because if somebody just wants to go out once and doesn't want another, possible interaction, I would not do this. But gifting is a good way because there's a lot involved in that gifting that people might not see necessarily or like consciously see. You're bringing intent. You have the belief that they're there. You're getting ready to, you're bringing something. It's a respect thing. There's just so much involved in it, and then you're offering to start a, give and take in a relationship based on trust. Um, right? Like if you give them a poison apple, where's that relationship going? You know what I mean? Like if you give them, people always say, "What should I gift?" Whatever seems good to you is what I say. Don't don't cookie cutter it. Don't go and get apples and peanut butter and whatever your heart tells you to give that. I've given things that were super personal to me, things that are super valuable, right? Like in the human world, valuable, but it seemed like the right thing to do, so I do it. And it seems to go a long, long way because you're giving like a piece of yourself. You're putting yourself out there. It, I guess I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, you're
Um,
making a lot of sense. Yeah.
and then of course, like you just gotta just respectful and like there is no like one way, right? There's no wrong way to eat a Reese's, but like it's it's all personal, really. It's all personal, but as long as you have the respect and like that, um, it sounds so simple, but like you just got to be like kind of loving, you know what I mean? And like leave that horror story crap, leave it at the door. Like leave it at the door because it's gonna get you nowhere. It's gonna bring out the monsters. The things that feed off the fear are gonna come out instead. Like you got to check that. Like if you got that, if you got that, if you're carrying that in your backpack, you might as well just stay. Might as well stay because. And I'm not saying there's not things that happen out there. I've had horrible encounters myself, but um, you can't bring it out there with you because it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
No, you're dropping jewels right now. You're definitely. I've heard some of the same things you're saying, and it's definitely resonating for
sometimes
sure.
it's so hard to put it into words, and
No, you're doing a great job. You're doing a great job.
yeah, I
Very,
always
very
look.
descriptive.
Well, I always look for analogies, but and then like I like grasp at straws sometimes because there's not always an analogy, but or a metaphor, whatever they're called. Um, sorry, my dog's giving me.
That's
I don't know what he wants
okay.
right now.
That's
Um,
okay.
yeah. And then I guess like always have somebody to lean on. Like I remember not having really anybody to lean on at first. And just somebody, even if you could just check in with them after something happens, like somebody you trust, somebody's not gonna laugh at you, somebody, you know what I mean? Because a lot of these people, you'll notice that their biggest complaint is that something happened and everybody laughs at them. Nobody wants to hear them, nobody wants to talk to them about anything. You know what I mean? So like, find that person that that you can, lean on. Whoever it may be. It doesn't matter if it's, somebody on YouTube or just somebody in the neighborhood, like whoever that may be.
Yeah, definitely. And that's you just really gave a lot of great advice. And people out there like myself who are looking into potentially having an experience like this, I think Mike just gave excellent, excellent advice. The intention part is a lot that I hear about, and like I said, that's first and foremost to come out there. And I love the pixie dust analogy and the Peter Pan reference, and just like you can do this, you have to believe that you can do it. And so if you're coming out there and you don't have the belief that you can do this or that you can have this experience, that you won't have it, And that goes into like the aura, your aura and your energy that goes out there. It connects with everything else that's out there. So I mean that sounds like solid, real good advice. You know what I mean? So you're definitely talking the right stuff. You're definitely talking the right stuff. So have you let me ask you this. So so since you've been out, because we know there's a lot of other cryptids and things that are out there, have you come across other things that were strange, like aside from Bigfoot? Have you seen anything else out there?
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. Um, it doesn't. Give me 1 second, bro. I'm sorry, bro. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, yeah.
So sorry.
You good, man. Take your time.
Come on, buddy.
Yeah, so you guys here, Mike is giving some real good advice. I mean, it sounds solid. It sounds authentic too. I mean, if there was a playbook on how to, approach this, I think you probably want to write down what it was or rewind and listen back to what it was that he just said. Because, anytime that I've heard, people give good advice, even like Robin McCrae has said some of the same things that Mike is saying here today. Dave Scott has said definitely some of the same things that Mike is saying here today. So there's something to that. That goes back to that, just like with UFOs, collecting data from experiencers and compiling a checklist or a roadmap on how to accomplish, one of these things. And I think that what he just gave were definitely jewels. Yeah, so back to that, I was just asking if you had seen anything else out there, any other cryptid sort of things out there.
Yeah. I actually, I just sat down with Vic Cundiff a couple times to kind of hash him out, and that's what he does is he, kind of works through people who've had encounters with different things. Pretty much dog man for the most part. So I had
Mm,
my, I've had my, my dog man experiences where some were just, oh look, there it is, or like just brief and like, oh, it's over there and I'm over here, no big deal. And then I've had mine where it was like, lucky you're breathing situation. Um, there's something to take away from that, obviously, because like I didn't stand a chance in hell, for lack of better words. But and they could have did what they wanted and they didn't. But it worked me over really well for a long time. And then I saw, I guess, what you would categorize as a rake. I don't know what to.
uh,
It's I don't know. Like
no.
the best thing I can reference is like creepy pasta crawler, like that,
Okay.
like pale humanoid. Like they almost look. They're, they're not human, but like they are very like their bodies are similar. Just like all right, I can't even talk about them because I don't know what they are. But I'll tell you what this thing looked like, and it had raised veins, like almost like its skin was like it wasn't white, like pale white, but it was almost like see through too, and almost like you could see the blood and like whatever it was going through its veins and like, but they were like raised and like its head reminded me of like the moon almost. Like if you ever zoom in on the moon and how it has like splotches and like you know what I mean, like they're craters, but from afar they kind of look like just splotchy. It was
Right.
something similar to that, and its eyes were just like dark sockets from what I can remember, and but the way it moved is really what stuck out to me. Like it moved like a spider and a frog mixed. Like it could like I had gone through the same area that it was clearing like with ease and like a breeze. I had gone through that area myself like minutes before, and it was difficult. Let's just put it that way. It was very difficult. and this thing just was leaping over stuff, pulling off of saplings, and like like slingshotting itself forward and kicking off trees, and uh, just yeah. I've never seen anything like it in my life. No, no, not for
I've
that
been,
long.
and so it just makes me wonder and think, because I consider myself an open minded person. I consider, I feel like, and I had a conversation with a guy, Antonio. I know he's out there in case he's watching. We met at a hotel. I was in another city, checking into a hotel. Ended up having a great conversation with just these random stranger, right?
Yeah,
But we were brought together by something weird, and the conversation just jumped into a lot of the stuff we're talking about now, being able to feel things, unlocking your mind. And I feel like sometimes now, especially now that I talk to a lot of people about this, that when I look back, I've gone into places like the woods and, the normal here in normal reality, I'll call it reality, in society. They tell you that the things like these can't exist or don't exist, and that what you felt when you went into the forest, it was nothing. You shouldn't think anything about that. It was you probably heard a raccoon, or you probably heard, but something tells you, or you have the feeling that no, it's more than that. And then
yeah,
once you're open and unlocked to the all the possibilities, then in myself, I think back and I'm like, wow, was that, or was that? That's why I asked you that earlier, because it's definitely like one of the things that I feel like I used to, with the whole UFO situation.
sure,
So I only knew that they were really here, right around the whole Lou Elizondo thing. That's when I
sure.
found out that, hey, they're here. But
Mm,
prior to that, I used to be out. I used to take trips through the desert in the between Reno and Las Vegas. No cities, no population, no anything. Only car on the road situations.
yeah,
Middle of the night, pitch black, dark, and then it just makes me think of a lot of the things that I could have been encountering, or
yeah,
the possibilities that were out there. So it kind of blows my mind when I think back on it.
yeah. Well, I mean, so Anthony from Unidentified as Four, right? So like, I had been seeing UFOs a bunch. I just didn't know that I was, because so like, similar to how I have to like coach people into stop looking for Patty when you're looking for Sasquatch. Like, you're not gonna find Patty every time. Like, they're uh again, I don't want to put them in a box, but like, they're multi elementals. They are one with nature. They're not always gonna be this physical thing that's walking out in the open. And you're gonna have to connect to it to get that contact, and it's not always going to be a flesh and blood thing where it's full body, and it's just not going to be the case all the time. So similar to
Mm,
like how I have to do that, like, I had to be coached into like kind of knowing what to look for, because I was always looking for like, this big craft coming down in front of my face with like, like picking up cows, and you know what I mean. Like, this is what
right.
it wasn't in my wheelhouse yet. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't. I wasn't there yet. You know what I mean? So, but once I was, it was like ping, 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 ping. And then it just started. It just starts unfolding, and sometimes that's all it takes, is that first little like, ugh. And then once you just kind of like, it's like everything's just sitting right there, just waiting, or like just parallel to us or right in front of us, but like, you know. You know what I mean, right? Like, you just kind of switch lanes. It's like that
Oh
simple.
yeah. Oh
It's
yeah.
just that simple.
I'll tell you, just like one thing that I always look at is, how you are looking for something or searching for something, or you're looking around, you sat something right where you sat it is not there. You go everywhere else, you look everywhere else you can, and then you come back and it's right where you actually left it. So
Yeah.
that whole thing of not seeing, or not, or whatever is causing you not to see, what is there, you know what I mean, and what is that, are you know what I mean. So I think it could be
Uh-huh.
sort of tied into that, like you're
Sure.
out there and then you don't see something because you're not locked into seeing what you know what I mean, and then maybe
Yeah.
that one time you are, and then you see what it is you see, you know what I mean.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm in one of those places where none of this stuff is supposed to go down. So like, it's even more annoying sometimes. But that's why I had to realize you'll never please everyone real fast, and I love pleasing me when it comes to this stuff. I love it. Like I have such a good time doing it to the point where I just nothing phases me, and it helps because I'm always in a good zone. You know what I mean? It's like it just everything flows to me, and like it's fun. Like it's a great time for me. And like you said, there might have been a bunch of stuff going on, and you just didn't know it. And like that's just the nature of the beast, you know. And like you look back and you're like, damn it, you know. But like I know a lot of people. I see a lot of people do that. They're like, oh, I lost so much time. Oh, I wasted so much time. Like just grab what you got and go with it. You know, go forward. Just rock every day to the fullest. And like that's my best advice because we should count our blessings that we did get woken up. Like that something did snap us out of it and like shake us.
True.
Something shook our tree and like you know what I mean. Like
True.
thank God. So, because I see zombies every day, I don't have to I don't have to turn on The Walking Dead to see zombies. They're everywhere. You know?
True. Yeah,
So,
literal and figurative zombies as well, because I consider the zombies being the ones that are just locked into society
yeah,
and not
right.
willing to see anything outside of their societal bubble. So,
Yeah,
but that can get pretty deep. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. No, you're right. I mean, that's exactly where I was going with it. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, so that's crazy. So, what I was gonna say is, what well before we go to break, what type of instruments would you recommend for someone who's going out there to use to to if they have one of these experiences while out there, to capture the and catalog data most effectively?
I'm probably the worst for that because I'm I'm like the worst with technology. I think less is more. Like, and especially in the beginning, you want to try to. When it comes to Sasquatch, I'll talk about that at least. Like because if you're filming UFOs, you want to have like a psionics or that's what I use at least. I think it's been a game changer because it takes away all the light no matter where you are and like if there is a little bit of light, it works for you. You know what I mean? So um,
Yeah, and that's what I was leaning to, like something like
yeah.
psionics, or does that help you visualize these things better, or using just a normal camera?
Well, it can and it can't. It can, anything can work for you or against you, right? Like because you can get too comfortable with the equipment and then end up just you're not connecting to nature itself or the Sasquatch themselves, and then there's no connection, so you're never gonna get anything on that camera. So I always
Mm,
say like
yeah,
less is more in the beginning, and then work into everything, work into your FLIRs and your night visions and your camera and all that. And um, I like I practice. Like if I bump into a deer, like I pretend it's a Sasquatch. Like it just builds muscle memory. You know what I mean? Like that's
mm,
my
hmm,
tools. Is kind of like just practice it. And it might sound
makes
silly,
sense.
right? But it's like when it happens, and like my camera's always out, like it's right here in my chest, like this. So when it starts pouring, put on a bucket hat, it's right here. Nothing changes. Like, you know what I mean? Like if I turn and look at something and it's there, it's there. I don't have to think about pulling it out. Like it's just there. If I don't use that footage, fine, delete it later. But
Yeah.
it's out. It's ready. It's going. You know what I mean?
And that's another great gem right there, because that can apply to UFOs as well. If you just have your camera, obviously have your camera handy,
Yep.
but you could just muscle memory, take pictures of airplane. Okay, boom, take a picture.
Yeah. Why not?
Bird. Boom, take a picture. That way, when
It's
you are
moving.
prepared for your sighting, you are on top of your game, man.
You're used to
You're
feel, yeah,
dropping jewels, man.
yeah, man. You're used to things moving and filming the way it goes. Because then when that UFO comes across the sky, like you said, Muslim, you'll just be ready to do it. You know what I mean? No matter what speed it is, like you'll just have to adapt slightly because you'll already have that, that tool.
Okay, Mike, we're gonna hold right there because we're gonna get ready to go to break. So as we pause for the break, we'll be right back with Mike, Long Island Bigfoot, and asking questions about, oh, I don't know, maybe Montauk, maybe some of the best experiences that he has had out there when looking for Bigfoot or Sasquatch, whatever your flavor. So we'll be right back with our number two of Spaced Out Radio. All right, welcome back to Spaced Out Radio after hour number 2 with me, your host, Mr. Rob G, and our amazing guest, Mike, Long Island Bigfoot, as we continue to jump back in to the question, and he'll be here in just a moment. But we're going to jump into the question. Montauk Monster. Montauk Monster. So that's what we'll be doing. So if you guys have been enjoying the show today, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and to all the space travelers out there, you guys are all space travelers. For one, let's start there. So because you're space travelers already, consider taking the next step and join our Space Travelers Club. That's right. You can join our Spaced Out Radio Space Travelers Club for as little as $5 by joining our Patreon. Get some official Spaced Out swag at spacedoutradio.com. Back with Mike. My guy, Mike. This is he's not just a guest. This is a good friend right here. This is a good buddy, Mike, and Long Island Bigfoot. And yeah, I was just saying, you talked about Montauk earlier. We've heard of weird and strange things going on in Montauk, and I think that's why a lot of people try to go there to try to see if they can catch one of those experiences. You had the Montauk Monster that was all over the internet years back. Is there something to Montauk, and what type of things are people seeing out there? Like, what have you had experiences with anything out there? Let's go from there.
Oh man, yeah, the possibilities are endless on this one. Just that area alone, and that when you really break it down, since I've been like unlocked, let's say, I haven't been out there that much, as far as time goes. So to think about how much has gone down, it's really, I mean, it's not shocking, but it's remarkable though, because so let's just touch on this, I guess. So for like 3 years now, I've been going out there with a couple guys. Dark Hour Paranormal and Montauk is Strange are their channels. Michael Roser and Brian Minnick, and we all have our different wheelhouses, right? I mean, Brian has been going to Camp Hero since the '90s and videoing, and I mean, his channel, showcases a lot of stuff, and like I was like, just digging in him to like put stuff up. I'm like, you got so much stuff that nobody else has, and he's hung out with like everybody, like Peter Moon, Chris Garitano, Joe what I don't want to say everybody's name because I don't know if they want to be announced, but it's wild. So we've been going out there for like 3 years and kind of doing our thing. The first year, we did like a little documentary. It aired on Dark Hour Paranormal, and then this year we ended up. Crypted Huntress was out there. She's big part of Spaced Out Radio as well.
Shout out Crypted Huntress.
Yeah, big shout out. She's a go-getter. She is like hardcore. I thought I was, I thought I did a lot, but I was always trying to keep up with her. And it was a lot of fun, and there was a lot of the secret space program people out there this year, and looking for the USS Eldridge, and it was just this whole other element, and all these other people that came into play this year, and it just opened up this whole new like outlook on everything for me. I was just like the guy who kind of went like was like, oh, like, and I'm so nonchalant about it now, but like, oh, Crypted over there, you know what I mean? And it's just become so normal to me. But that's kind of what I went for, like I was just like, oh, like I want to go hang with the guys, we'll go camping, we do our thing, have some fun. And if amazing things happen, then amazing things happen, and they always seem to. The most notable thing I could think of on year one was, or maybe it was year one. Because it took Brian about 1.5 years to find somebody to get this taken care of. I got this kind of like drive-by telepathy from something, and it ended up being Sasquatch that I didn't recognize goes by Junior, famously, right? Some people might know what that is. Some people might not. I don't even really understand all of it. I don't know much history, but I believe when the Montauk project ended, it was said that Preston Nichols created some kind of or manifested this monster of sorts, which is similar to a Sasquatch, to destroy the Montauk project. And I got this little like drive-by telepathy, basically saying like, "I see you guys. I see what you're doing." Like, kind of like thanking us for seeing him for not a monster. And he was just like, like the humans out here were monsters, and I was correcting it, and outlook on, myself and our our peoples, our Sasquatch people. Next thing you know, I see this area of what, the Camp Hero is open public now. It's walked regularly. It was, it was cleared by the military, no less. There's this little section, and it looks like something was just in there and just tore the woods apart, just ripped stuff out like crazy. And sitting right on top, plain as day, I'm like guided right to it, is this reel by reel, like almost like you would put in like the movie theater. So
Right.
like, like that, like, and it's not huge. It's like this big. It's not a big movie reel. It's like this big, and we don't know what it is. It's old. It took forever for us to find somebody that could salvage it. He ended up going to Brooklyn with it and finding some students that were like trying to get like hours, I guess, or something of like in school for something. I don't know. I don't even know how he made this connection. I have no idea, but he was working hard to do it. And I'm still amazed by it. And they were able to salvage audio, at least. And I can only speculate what it is, but to me, it sounds like torture music. Again, that's highlighted on his channel, but to me, I could only listen to it for short spans, and to me, I could imagine hearing it for like hours or days or whatever, and just cringing just thinking about it.
Is it only music, or is it music and then like disembodied voices, things like that?
I'm not exactly sure, to be honest with you. It sounds silly that I didn't really ask more about it, but I didn't really want to know more about it at that point.
Had that feeling, yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you, definitely.
Some things I leave to the other guys, you know what I mean? And I guess when I get cues at this point to kind of leave things alone or not do something or not go in, or no matter what, what extent it go, or on a personal level, even if my stubbornness wants to do it or wants to go for it, I just take my cues now. So, everything in me was saying like, leave that alone.
So when it comes, so that monster creation. So, and I was referring to as well and I think it turned out not to be a monster. I don't know the thing that washed up on the beach.
Yes, the Montauk monster, right? So that was yeah. They said it was a raccoon, but raccoons don't have beaks, and like what I mean. And look, Plum Island is like, so there's like there's always a triangle, right? So like I call it the Long Island Triangle. It's not like an official thing, but you got Camp Hero, Plum Island, and then Brookhaven Labs. And if you point them out on a map, I'm not far from Brookhaven Labs, but like Plum Island's on the North Shore at the end, the farthest part, of the North Shore of Long Island, which is Orient Point, and then Montauk Camp Hero is the southernmost tip, and then like Brookhaven Labs is like right in the middle where it comes, where they both meet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's, I know it's by design. It's no accident. Brookhaven Labs used to be Fort Upton. Camp Hero was a base too, and all that good stuff, right? All of them got the undergrounds, but anyway, Plum Island it's not even close to a secret that they work on animals and experiment and all sorts of stuff. So it it makes perfect sense that one, would wash up there. And I look at Stranger Things and I see the Demogorgon and the Demodogs and stuff, and that's what I see when I see the Montauk monster. I see like a Demodog, you know what I mean? But you could take what you want from it. But every time a story unfolds for longer and longer and longer and longer, there's just more time to like, make stuff disappear and
Yeah, yeah.
and 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 create more, more to outweigh the facts and what really happened. It's just more and more time, and that was a while ago.
Yeah, I've said the same thing about when it comes to you UFO sightings and data like that. Like when it first comes out is the best time to
Yeah,
try to look at it and analyze it, because as more time goes on, it kind of disappears or gets debunked or pushed under the rug. No one
sure.
wants to take a second look at it. And
Yeah,
they're doing weird things over there. I guess that was the backstory on the Montauk Monster, that it was potentially some genetically altered thing that they had actually been doing over there. So that's interesting though. But so, and a lot of people wouldn't think that, when we talk about New York, Long Island area, that there would be forests and woods and things of that. They just think of the big city, concrete jungle sort of situation.
yeah.
So kind of give people an idea on like what it really is like, and like the area that you go out to, and maybe some of the things that you've come across when you've been out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely suburbia. It's definitely overpopulated in most places, but I mean, there's a lot of woods. I mean, that so Long Island, Brooklyn, and Queens technically sit on Long Island, but because they're boroughs, they're two of the five boroughs. They're considered the city, but they actually sit on Long Island next to each other. And then there's Nassau County, and then there's Suffolk County. Um, I'm like, I think 50 miles or something east of the city, and then and then it just keeps going out. I think another like 50 miles or so, maybe even more. But it's very, from me on out, is pretty wooded. Uh, and again, it's very overpopulated. But I didn't have my numbers straight last time I was talking about this, but I believe Camp Hero is somewhere around 4,000 acres just by itself. Um, uh, the Pine Barrens are 100,000 acres. Brian actually just gave me a fact that I didn't know, that the Pine Barrens in Mass and New Jersey and our Pine Barrens all at one point were actually interlocked, which is very, very interesting. Because I'm always correcting people that the Pine Barrens, in Jersey are different, but apparently they're separate, but apparently they're not different. They're the same damn thing. It's actually classified as a desert, which is kind of, and that's another thing too.
Weird, yeah.
Yeah, it's like there's sand under your feet everywhere you go. It's a weird thing. Our woods aren't necessarily sought out for like hiking. Like most people want to go like across to Connecticut and find some hills. We're very flatland here. It's not much of a challenge for any hikers, so they'll go to like the Catskills and stuff. But uh, I frequent a lot of places, and I only see like the same people. And then there's popular places that are just overpopulated, and I just stay away from them for the most part. But out in Montauk, you'd think there's so many people flocking out there all the time, but you go into these places and it's odd. Like you go into Camp Hero, and by the bluffs, like the parking lot will be full, and there's people taking pictures and everybody looking at that first parking lot. And then you go by the radar tower, the next parking lot over, all the bunkers and all the good stuff, and like nobody's there. And it's literally like, as the crow flies, it's probably a quarter mile away. So why, again, it's like, why is nobody in there? Why does nobody know about this stuff? I believe Jessica said something when we were in town. She was like, "Why isn't there like a Demogorgon on the lawn in the traffic circle?" Or like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, no, I'm like they don't want nobody to know that was here. Like, they cover it up like to every extent. Even when the Duffer Brothers named Stranger Things the Montauk Project, that was knocked out. You know what I mean? Forget about it. You can't even say. They don't even say it. I forget where they say it is now, but it's not. it's not. Sorry, I
Yeah,
don't know
you're
what.
fine. You're fine. Don't worry about it. I want to remind everybody, and I've been saving them, the ones that I can pick out here. But make sure that if you have questions for Mike Long Island Bigfoot, put them in all caps so I can pick them out, and then we're gonna be going into those pretty soon here. So let's get those questions lined up if you can here. So, all right. So, and yeah, Mike Jones, just like Mike Jones said, could we get over 100 likes? Could we get over 100 likes tonight? Long Island Bigfoot is going there tonight. We need to go ahead and get that. We're putting on a fantastic show here at the after hours. So, let's go ahead and get that done, guys. Thanks. Okay. So, all right, so jumping into some more stuff, I guess, so obviously you're right there with on the pretty much the border of a lot of woods, extensive, right? Because it goes from, I guess, what is that, upstate New York, and even it crosses the border into Canada, and then the surrounding
Oh
states as
yeah.
well. So there's
Well,
just miles and miles.
Adirondack Park is like Catskill Park is 700,000 acres, but Adirondack Park is 6 million acres. Um, and that's it's the biggest state park there is. Like I forget how you can classify, but you could drop like Yellowstone, Glacier, a couple other national parks inside of it and have room to play. Um, so there's plenty of stuff to do up there. But where I'm at, there's no shortage of state and county parks and wooded areas and stuff. But it is suburbia. You're right. You're always not far from something, and that's just something I've never like hidden. Like it's been part of it all. Like it is right here. You know what I mean? Like it's right here amongst us, and that's like the suburban Sasquatch concept is like I want to show. I felt like it was my responsibility to not be like, oh, like let me turn away from that building and house or whatever and like act like I'm in the middle of nowhere. Like I'll be like, look, like there's a residential, you know what I mean? Right there. And like here's this right here. And it's helped people along the way, you know what I mean? Including myself. Kinda like snap out of it because my mindset was you had to go to the middle of nowhere. But that's what mass media, I guess, was talking about, and that was all I knew at the time.
Yeah, and you make a great point on, especially, I mean, in on here on the West Coast, it's a little different as far as getting to the woods or nature. I mean, it's a lot of flat land out here, a lot of open area, open land. But when you get into places like the Sierras, is where you're going to start running in, or even Northern California with Mendocino County and up there. And I'm sure it's a lot of stuff going on up there. But for you, because everything is so built up out there, you just like you're saying, it kind of like borders this. So you have suburbia, then you have this here. So you end up having experiences with people having experiences just in the normal city or situations like that. So could you touch more into that? Maybe some cases where someone just in the city has had an incident with Bigfoot, Sasquatch, or just any other sort of cryptid, right? In the city.
So it's not necessarily the city, but I don't really do Nassau County, but I get reports out of Nassau County, and some of them are surprisingly close to like Queens and Brooklyn. Some come from like lifelong captains, boat captains. Some have seen them in the water, um, like putting Michael Phelps to shame. Um, some have seen them near the water. Some have seen them on the shores, like kind of in the coves and stuff, doing I guess clamming and like stuff to that effect. Uh, and other people have seen them. It seems like the reports I get tend to come from the North Shore of Nassau. I don't know if there's anything to that. I tend to do the North Shore too, but it's just I don't know how that happened. I do a lot on the South Shore too, but it's just I don't know. I've always been drawn north, and I don't know if there's anything to it necessarily. I just it's just been what I do. So those reports are pretty built up areas. One was in I want to say it was a town called like Glen Cove or something like that, or maybe it was Port Washington or something to that effect. But it was like it actually made the papers, right? And a lot of people kept coming to me and saying, "Oh, was that you? Was that you?" And I'm like, "No, it wasn't me," you know. And I was like, and they're like, "Oh, okay. Well, what happened to that guy?" I'm like, "What do you think happened to him? Like they scared him into a shell." You know what I mean? And like, yeah, just like we were talking about a minute ago, the reported like sighting because I when I had my first, I went to BFRO and they blew me off. Like same thing happened with this guy. It was like I except I wasn't able to be talked off a ledge like and be like, oh, you know, there's no reports there, so it didn't happen. Like I was like, okay, you don't want to help me, I'll go somewhere else, you know.
Right.
And that's how I ended up with New York Bigfoot Society, and we do similar stuff in New York State, just in general. It's just one of the organizations you know, there's a lot of groups I work with. Some are public, some are totally off radar, some are semi on radar. Um, it all has different purposes, but that particular one we were broke into regions. So obviously, I'm like South New York. Anything that comes up, I go and help people with. Pretty much from the Catskills down. I just go and check things out, put their mind at ease, or don't. It depends, depending what's going on. There's really a lot of times there's nothing you could do but just be that ear, just listen to them and sit with them for a while. And a lot of times that's all people want is just somebody to kind of just vent to, and then just give them that open contact so that when the next thing happens, they got, like I was talking about earlier, just have that person to lean on, because when something goes wrong at 3 a.m, or like, there's like da, 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 something like drumming on your shed or banging on your window, you know what I mean, or you're whatever. There's a million things that could go on, but uh, just have somebody you could reach out to, like whoever that is, whatever that looks like. Just always have that in your back pocket, because in the beginning it's sketchy. It's very sketchy because the fear of the unknown, I guess, is what I
Yeah.
always go with. The more knowledge is the more power you have, kind of. And I don't want to knock like social media because I'm a part of it, right? We're a part of it, and like we have these we have podcasts here, and like that's what we're doing right now, right? But at the same time, there's a lot of areas where there's a lot of fluff and a lot of like monster selling, right? Because I mean the monster sells, let's just be honest, it just does. Fear sells, and it's always gonna. It's just it's like a thriller, it's entertainment to an extent. So if there's nothing there, I'm not gonna fabricate it. But the way I always look at it is there's enough weird and enough scary, even in the stuff that's not necessarily like uh scary. It's scary enough because it's so unknown. So I don't know if I'm making sense here. This
You
dog's
definitely are. No,
this
you're
dog's
connected
scratching himself to
you're
death.
yeah, no, you're making a lot of sense, and the audience definitely is resonating with it. What I wanted to ask you is, so you have the ones that are coming into I will not necessarily city, but I guess areas with human population. and they're being seen at on the water's edge. You say maybe collecting clams, things of that nature. So, or do you feel that their baseline, their home base is probably close to that, or do you think they're traveling distances from like deep into the woods to come out to do this? What would you say about that?
I think a lot of I think a lot of them are just here, and they're so comfortable with us that like it's just the way it is. You know what I mean? It's just how it is. There's so many like I've done it. I've tested it. I've sat like 5 feet off the trail where people are jogging by and walking by and riding bikes by and like a popular spot, and I just literally stood there in the in the open. Excuse me, in the open, not like not fully like camouflaged or you know uh Arnold and the Predator like covered in clay. Like I mean, I'm in plain clothes, like standing there, and I think I clocked maybe like 50 people. Nobody knew I was there. Nobody. And it's like eh, it's not even just like, oh, I didn't see it. Even when people see things, like I don't think they're looking for it. Like it's not on their radar. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just doesn't. Everybody's in so far in their own head that I don't think that it's. I know it's not. I know it's not something that people even register. Uh, so I do think they're here. To answer your question, I do think they're here. I think this is a lot of their home base. Like it's just um, they just live right alongside us and they know how to do it with ease. It's just you know, it's just so easy for them. And I do think there's ones that go into the Pine Barrens or up, further, and they do want to be away from man, and that's where they want to be. They don't want to be bothered. But the ones that are here are so tolerant of us. It's like, yeah, that's why I just call them suburban Sasquatch because it's so much different. When I go and experience things up in the mountains, they act like the typical Sasquatch you hear, like they're screaming and they're clacking on wood, and like it's all that typical stuff, but. And then you come down here and they mimic all these things, like cat fights and dogs barking and like even like engines revving and stuff like that, or like the throttle. I've heard them mimic the throttle of a Harley, like, and it's like it's different, and they're so damn smart that like it's you wouldn't even know what you were hearing, or that here it's some places it's a tornado alarm. Here it's
Hmm.
like a volunteer firefighter alarm, and it, woo, and like if you're, I mean, I've seen it happen so many, or heard it happen so many times where right before, like as that alarm's going off or as it's ending, they will just sound off with it. And I'm like, why? You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like it triggers them, or maybe they're using it to cover up. You'll hear
Mm.
reports of like, oh, when the planes go over, I'll hear them move around or I'll hear them do something or like it's always seems like they use the cover of what distracts us to operate. And
Mm.
that's all. It's only when we're around. And I noticed too, like people always ask me what wood knocks mean, and I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know for you, but I can tell you right now, when I come in the woods, sometimes it's like pop, one knock. When I leave, pop, another one. It's like they count to me like ding dong as you walk in a store. And if I come in with somebody else, it's clock clock. You know what I mean? There's two of them, and like and then I'll be in the woods and I'll hear clack clack, and I'm like, I, sure as sure as rain or whatever, right as whatever it's called. They're saying, but right as rain, like I'll see two people come by, two people walk in and walk by, and I'm like, yep, like they knew way before I did.
Man, so let me ask you this as well, and I've wondered this because and I guess it probably is. The answer is probably going to be it just depends on the situation. But have you found like what would you say is the normal mannerism or demeanor for Bigfoot when it comes to interacting with humans? Or you say they're definitely comfortable around humans. But do you find, or have you found in some cases that they come across as aggressive, or really not wanting to deal with humans, or have you had anything like that?
I think in the Pine Barrens, as far as the island goes, or I think the Pine Barrens is where you're gonna get that the most, because it's where I think, at least this is a theory, right? I'm just speculating, but I think
Yeah.
that's where they go around here if they want to get away from us, because it has the biggest, biggest area of non-appeal to humans. It's just vast, and uh, it's miserable for people. Humans don't like it. Mountain bikers use it, but other than that, that's about it. It's ideal mountain biking because it's like sandy and nobody's around there, and people make trails through it in some places. But other than that, it's just there's nothing to it. Like I said, it's classified as a desert. I camp in there. Let me just tell you, you're dried out by the end of the night. You are dried out, and it gets cold at night. I mean, I've lived in deserts too in Afghanistan, but like you get dried. You get dried out in the daytime, and at night it gets like breezy and cool, and like it's not appealing, to the human anyway. Um, so I think they go there, but I don't think it's aggression or anything. I think not. I know they just stay. They just stay hidden, and it's so easy for them. They could be right there in plain sight with all the tools that they have. We don't even have to dive into the woo, or whatever you want to call it. Like that's why I use that example of standing 5 feet off the trail, because it's like if it's that easy, the tools that these guys have is so off their scale compared to us. And they're like multi-elementals, right? So they just become part of the forest or anything they're around. They just become part of it, like just with the snap of a finger. Just, oh, I'm one with that tree. I'm one with that, river. I'm one with that forest. The whole wooded area, whatever. They just
Hmm.
connect to it.
Oh, wow. So, and I don't know the background on any of this, and maybe it sounds silly even asking the question, but are being that these Bigfoot, Sasquatch have been speculated to or described as being like ape-like creatures, do you feel, and obviously you probably don't know the answer to it, but in your opinion, do you feel like they come off of the Homo sapien timeline, like maybe Neanderthal, and branched off into their own thing, or do you feel like no, these things are their own separate thing? Period. Nothing to do with our timeline.
Yeah, I definitely don't have a definitive answer for that.
Yeah, just your feeling.
Yeah, it is hard because, right, like everybody, when people get involved with this, you want to jump to the big picture questions, right? Where'd they come from? What are they? What the hell's going on here, right? It's hard to push that down and just kind of just be in that moment. But if I had to guess, they're a type of people. I don't guess. I know they're more of a type of people than they are an ape. But again, like we're 98% chimpanzee anyway, so like what the hell's
Right.
the difference? So like I mean people like to flock away from those numbers, but it's so you want to talk DNA? We're a chimp.
Yeah, and
So
it's just yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, I'm just saying, so like yeah, I think they're more advanced than us, but it's easier and more humans comprehend being top dog. So it's easy to sell humans that they're an ape, right? Because that's pushing them down and below us. So of course your average man strutting his shit around is gonna want to be like, yeah, that's it. They're not gonna want to be like, oh, they're better than me. Right? That's not like a typical man thing to do. So
Right.
the ego gets in the way a lot of times, but I do believe they're an advanced human, ancient human, or something to that effect, an ancient people at least. Um, Unfortunately, I think we're the only things on the outside, bro. I don't think that aliens are weird and Bigfoot's weird. I think we kind of got on the outskirts here.
Yeah. I mean, because you look back, people talking about like Orthopithecus and things that are just
Yeah,
prehistoric sort of things, and it would be wild because I always hear that that as far as their mannerisms and like raising young and
sure.
they mimic like a lot of the characteristics that we had as prehistoric human, and
Yeah.
it just kind of there's some
Well,
similarities there. It would be wild to find out once they're able to DNA sample and run tests that there was some relation there. That it would just be pretty wild to find that
but
out.
even Gigantopithecus, like I ain't never met one. Have you? Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Nobody on Earth has met one. So, like, I mean, how do we know? Like, we're just going off what some scientist said that they were apes. You know what I mean? Who knows? Maybe they were telepathic geniuses and they did the same thing. We don't know. We're just going off something we were told. I mean,
Yeah.
they also told me I only use like 10% of my brain, and I was like, cool. What's next? You know, like I didn't like.
Yeah, I've said the thing I say about science, and I think science is very important to uncovering things and examining things. But historically, we know that scientific conclusions generally change every 20 to 30 years. So they always come out and say, "Oh, we thought something was this, but now we found out it's this. So let's rewrite the books on this and let's do this again."
And
So
the doctors used to prescribe us cigarettes. You know what I mean?
which is
Right?
that is
Don't drink
bananas.
wine. Drink wine. Don't do this. Don't do that. Have some sugar. Don't have some sugar. It's always something, right?
That's bananas. So here's what we'll do because I know we have a list of questions here. Some of these might be redundant, and if you
That's
guys
all right.
have any more, I'm going to be looking through these. We had. I'm just going to start with this one real quick because Derek Galloway is a jokester, and you may
Yeah.
know him from other streams. But he
Well, great.
says, "Mikey, Long Island Bigfoot, I want my slice of pizza."
It's in the
So
mail. It's in the
you
mail.
must it's in
It's
the
in the
mail. Okay. All right. And so we got Silver Fox one who asked the question, Mike, what's Sabi's take on the dog man, please?
As far as Sabe and Dogman, like I've seen them, so I don't know for sure, right? But I have like a theory at least that they have like cryptid community areas, and the best way I could describe it is similar to like if you ever watch like a safari show, you have all the animals in different herds all over the place: zebras, lions, tigers cheating in the tree, baboons over there, right? And but crocodiles in the water, but everything comes to the water at some point because there's limited water.
Hmm.
So whatever that looks like to you, whether you're flesh and blood, whether you're deeper into it down the rabbit hole, or whatever stance you have in your journey, whatever, whether that be that watering hole be water or it be a portal or whatever. Like I believe there's community areas where they're seen more of together, and then there's other areas where they're just like, we're doing our thing. Like I'm with my family, he's with his family, you know what I mean, and that's it. Uh, that's my take on it. I don't want you to take that to the bank and cash it because it's just an opinion, off experience, and and it could be different everywhere and anywhere. I'm only this small, tiny little nook over here, and like I don't, you know what I mean. I don't know what it's like
Hmm.
over here and over here and over here. I don't know, and I do want to know. I do want to experience more, and I do plan on, going all over, but until I have my own. Again, I'll never cover the whole world. I'll never cover all of anything. But that's why I think we should pool our things. Pool everything together and just. But you know how that goes.
Okay. All right. Great answer. And we have Danny Staten says or
I
Staten says ask Mike about his upcoming movie.
Unidentified S4 recently came out here. Anthony Exemplar, and he came out from Staten Island, and like most people do, if they get more than they bargained for. Expectations are high, but like you're not sure, right? You're not sure what's gonna happen. It's active. Let's just say that on a lot of levels, which I've had this idea to make like a documentary like for a long time now called Suburban Sasquatch. Just didn't really know how to get it
Hmm.
started, and he kind of did, right? And he was like, "Let's do this. Like, let's get it going. Like, this is like it's amazing out here. Like, it's like you just got to get, like you got to get it out there." I'm like, "Oh, well, let's do it." So, yeah, we're in the beginning stages of it, yeah. But looking to kind of put that on the map, and I guess take my first step towards like something being on Amazon eventually, I guess, or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. This sounds great. I'm looking forward to that. We have a next question from Donna Spencer. Says, Mike, have you ever seen a Bigfoot outlined with lightning bugs like they were part of their hair?
No, but it sounds beautiful. Um, sounds amazing. I'm not gonna say that's like that makes sense to me, to be honest with you. Like they're connected to everything, so if they wanted to connect fireflies to them all, why not? You know,
Interesting.
why not? I don't. I've never seen it, but I'd love to. Let's start
Okay.
manifesting.
We have next Infinite Reality, Long Island Bigfoot. My question is, I'm watching your doco first because you go too fast. I don't know what that means. You get that?
maybe, maybe the little. I put out my first like mini doc today, so maybe she's saying I'm gonna watch that first and then this because I was just there and now I'm here. I don't know.
Ah, okay. There you. Yeah, that makes sense.
Trying
Okay,
to keep
definitely.
up.
Okay. Let's go. The real Paulie T. Long Island Bigfoot. Any truth to a turf war between yourself and Short Island Smallfoot?
so, so, yeah, it's all true. It's all true.
And we got Mike Jones. Mike Jones says, Mike, hope you know you're a great inspiration to thousands of people. And
Oh,
I
thank
agree.
you, man.
You have a great story to tell. And I know it resonates with thousands of people at the least. So um, let's
I'm
see.
happy
We
to.
have,
I'm happy to reach one person. You know what I mean?
here we go. I'm with you on that. Neil Warden asks, do you know how to get underground at Montauk?
Um, not Brian does, but if there is a way, and then I think we've kind of been sealed off on all levels. They're either flooded, filled with cement. So I don't know for sure. If there is one right now, is probably being closely protected. I don't have personal info on one right now currently, but uh,
Okay.
if there's one, I'm sure we could find it for you. But
All right. And then let's see. Mike Rivers asks, do you find that the moon or time of day or night have a difference in sightings?
absolutely, yeah. Storm energy, moon energy, all that stuff comes into play. One of my favorite times is the blue hour in the morning. Just before sunrise. I call it shift change, right? Nocturnals going in, everything else coming out. I think it's like a cryptid shift change for the most part. And plus, it's like kind of nighttime still, technically, but you can see. Just because the sun hasn't rose yet, but it's peaking and it's illuminating the woods a little bit. So they call it the
Hmm.
blue hour because it just kind of it lights up a little bit,
Yeah.
um, similar to a full moon, I guess, right? But uh, absolutely, definitely. If a storm's coming, I get out there. If there's a full moon, I try to get out there, or one of those super moons or whatever. Unfortunately, I think it kicks up a lot of stuff. Not just Sasquatch. So you got to kind of know how to navigate your way through this. Again, muscle memory. Always have something in your back pocket, recited to go. Uh, guns are good for protection. I guess I use you know positive affirmations, words, prayers, whatever you go with, whatever works for you. Just have something ready to spit.
Makes sense. Makes sense. We have Black Dragon who says Pine Barren sounds familiar to me. Was there other cryptids in that area?
So the popular pine barrens in New Jersey, and for the Jersey Devil, that's like the pine barrens are. known for anyway. But yeah, there's a lot of cryptid sightings in the Jersey Pine Barrens, and it's we're the ones I go to are separate. The Jersey Pine Barrens are much bigger than ours. Ours are 100,000 acres. I don't know how big that one is in Jersey, but I know it's much bigger. It's a much bigger area. So
Okay. And we have Mike Jones. Oh, actually, go to Amy WC real quick here. Amy WC, is there knowledge we should not know based on what you
um,
know or what you
just
understand?
be careful what you take in and what you know. Uh, I never say like you don't want to hear somebody out, but you know, yeah, there's always knowledge that you should. That's not really knowledge. It's just stuff you should leave behind, you know, and you can do it on your own accord at your own risk, you know. And if it feel like it don't apply, let it fly.
All right, great advice. And then we have Mike Jones. Giant bones have been found throughout the U.S. Could Bigfoot be a remnant of them? So,
Yeah,
like, yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's like anything else. We're never going to be the ones to get to it first, so we'll never know the real story. You know, I'll tell you right now. If I come across anything like that, like nobody's going to know about it, or at least I'm going to like make sure I line up everything before anybody knows about it, because I just you know how it goes. Like we'll never. By the time the story trickles out to us, it's something like that. As far as giant bones being found, you know, it's tough. It's tough to get the first original story and everything like that. But I would say some of them were maybe Sasquatch or some kind of variation of them. Maybe like it's hard to say for sure. There's so much stuff out there that you know, again, I don't like to just put them in a box, because I don't know if there's different, like we're humans, right? But there's different races of us. Like I'd imagine it's very similar. Just different families, down to different tribes, down to different appearances and looks and personalities and traits, et cetera, et cetera. So there might be different races and different just you know the possibilities are really endless, and I'm just a small drop in the ocean, you know. So
Now, Amy WC has another question for you. It says, "What's the ugliest creature you ever saw? Careful in your answer."
well played. Um, yeah, we'll stick to cryptids, I guess. So I would have to say that rake thing or whatever it was, mostly because of its actions towards me. I have like that's the outlook I have towards it, is like you know, an ugly. His personality was ugly. Let's put it that way, and his appearance wasn't very nice either. But if there's beauty
Okay,
in anything, I'm just not going to find it.
there you go. Now, let me see. We do have one more. Let me just see if anybody had any last minute questions, because I have one more saved here. So if you do, go ahead, quickly put them in so we can get them to mic. And
Trying
all
to
right.
fire
So,
off.
yeah, exactly. So I have right here, and we'll check again after this comment, because I think this is something you should see. So Paranormal Pixie Laura says she just wanted to compliment you on the presentation you had earlier today. So well done.
Oh,
So
thank you.
well done.
I had help that time. As everybody knows, who knows me knows, like I don't know how to edit or do anything. like I the worst. So I had help with that one. Brian Montauk is strange again. He helped me put that together. So
Well, it's part of the team. All part of
mhm.
the team. Okay, so that looks like the last question. So yeah, so oh, okay, one more here. We have Neil Warden asking, have you seen any reptilians? They live style.
Yeah, they do live still. Yeah. So I've never seen one per se. like I think I seen one in a meat suit once, in a human meat suit, but I'm not sure. I know there was twice that I was around them and I got out of there. Both times it was raining and like or maybe yeah it was raining or like about it was starting to rain and like this horrible sulfur smell. Like sulfur is the closest thing I can come to, and and I don't know how to explain it other than like I was told what it was, kind of, and I just I didn't need to see anything. I wanted to just go. You know, I didn't want to see them. I didn't want to know what they were about. It was enough of me. I just said okay. I took the cue and I left, and that only happened twice. I I don't want it to happen a third. It's just me.
Well, that's pretty awesome. I think you definitely gave a lot of good information. And uh, here we go. Derek Galloway is wants to ask you another question. It isn't about pizza this time, but it is saying, Mike, when you coming down to Florida to help me tame these skunk apes?
I'm already there, bro. I'm everywhere. No, yeah, we could plan something out. I'm not against traveling anywhere. It's just a matter of doing it, financial stuff like that. So, if you want to plan something, if anybody wants, like me to be somewhere, like just get with me and we just do the proper planning. And I can't poof myself too far. I do a lot of local stuff on the fly and like last minute and just pop places. Like I this week I gotta go way up north and do a bunch of stuff. I don't gotta, but I'm going to. Possibly tomorrow I'll be camping in Connecticut overnight, like because of a recent sighting. Like, I there's a lot of things I do like that, but something like that I have to plan out. So if that's what you want to do, let me know. We'll work it out, bro.
Because that's the kind of guy he is. Mike, Long Island Bigfoot. We've been friends here for a few minutes here, and it's been awesome the whole time. Just a real genuine dude. We really resonate with each other, and I would say for sure go and support this man's page. He's awesome. He's always posting something interesting, and you can find him over at Bigfoot Squatch on YouTube. Make sure that you guys go over there and like and subscribe, and I'm sure we could get you back, right? I mean, this isn't the last time, right? Yeah,
I don't know. I gotta, yeah. I don't think we've seen the end of each other.
that's right. That's right. So, with that being said, let's see. We have a couple of comments. Yes, he's amazing. Interesting show. Let's see. This was excellent, Mike, Rob, and Mike. Thank you, thank you. And I know I saw another one I wanted to show here. Hmm. Oh, this one. Can we get to 125 likes? Come on, guys. Can we do that? I mean, come on. Mike gave some awesome data today. Things for you to think about. It's even worth the rewatch. You should probably go rewatch because he dropped a lot of dimes here tonight. And outside of that, we're going to go ahead and get ready to say goodbye to Long Island Bigfoot here, Mike. Even sad to go, man. We could talk for so much longer. But we're going to
So,
pause for the cause with our last break of the night as we get ready to jump into, I don't know, maybe some more space trivia because the Night Stalker killed it last night. And I know some people want revenge. So we may jump into some of that and also some weird, and strange stories from around the world as we get into our third and final hour on Spaced Out Radio. Long Island Mike, I'll be talking to you very soon.
all
Thank
right,
you for
bro.
coming through, and you have a great rest of your night. Take care, man.
You too, brother. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Welcome back to Spaced Out Radio, after hour number 3, with me, your host, Mr. Rob G. And for the final hour, we're going to go ahead and have a little bit of fun, right? I know some people probably want to get the get back from last night, as the Night Stalker just kind of crushed it. Reds was pretty close last night. But this is Sunday. We're going to be rolling into the work week for a lot of people. And we're just going to kind of relax and have a little bit of fun here before we get into the action-packed week of David Scott and Spaced Out Radio. So before we do that, I definitely want to go ahead and say to all the space travelers out there, because each and every one of you are space travelers. Don't forget that. You are space travelers. Consider taking the next step and join the club. That's right. You can join our Spaced Out Radio Space Travelers Club for as little as $5. That's 20 quarters. Get some official Spaced Out swag at spacedoutradio.com. So we're going to go ahead and jump into a little, we had a little fun last night. We jogged some brains and got some thoughts and things going. And we're going to do a little bit of the same tonight. We have a new set of questions. We have even some cryptid questions. So test your knowledge. I mean, I know you're part of ufology. I know you study this stuff. I know you've watched countless documentaries, countless YouTube videos on the subject. So we're going to see just where you're at. And this also goes over to our audio only listeners. Even though you can't jump in and chime in the chat, maybe you're in the car with someone. Maybe you guys can battle it out in the car and see who has the best knowledge here when it comes to the subject of ufology, cryptids, and maybe even a Spaced Out Radio staff question or two. Maybe we'll throw one of those in there. We had one last night, which was, what does Dave Scott hate eating for dinner? And that's a gimme right there. Everybody got that one right. It was breakfast. It was pancakes. And and like I said, I don't know why he doesn't like breakfast for dinner, because breakfast is awesome for dinner. So with that being said, we're going to jump into some questions here. And I just want to see where you guys are at. So get your fingers ready. Is whatever pops up in the chat first is going to be who wins that round or wins that question. And then we will go ahead and get into the winner. And we will put the winner in the comment section of this video, where you will live in infamy for eternity on this video, showing that you have the knowledge, you kicked butt tonight. And we will also put that out on the Spaced Out Radio social media page, giving you a shout out like we did for the Night Stalker last night. So I don't know if Night Stalker is here tonight to defend his title, but we're going to go ahead, and I have a little ambiance that we're going to use while we're going through this. So let's give it a shot here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Let me know if you're digging that. So, as we get into Spaced Out Trivia, courtesy of Mr. Rob G and the After Hours and Spaced Out Radio, let's go ahead and get into our questions here. Let me get the chat up so I can make sure I get who is first here. So, let's get a couple UFO themed questions. Let's start it out with that. So, question number 1. In what year did the famous Betty and Barney Hill abduction case occur? In what year did the famous Betty and Barney Hill case occur, if you know? Now I gotta wait a second, because the chat does this weird thing to make sure that we have the... And it looks like it's Gizmo. Gizmo gets the first question. So let's go ahead and let me tag that response. Great job, Gizmo. It was 1961. You think, how long is that? That's 62, almost 63 years ago that the Betty and Barney Hill case took place. That's crazy to think about. All right, so going into question number 2. Some of these you're gonna have to think about. Last night was just gimmies, and really easy questions. So this one, which well-known physicist authored a paper titled Flying Saucers in 1953 exploring the scientific aspect of UFOs? Which well-known physicist authored a paper titled Flying Saucers in 1953 exploring the scientific aspects of UFOs? Yeah, see? Take your time, take your time. I'll let you know when I see the right answer. Is this the brain bender? Don't worry, we'll give it like 20 seconds, and if no one gets it, I'll give you the answer and we'll move on. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. I don't see the right. I still don't see it. That's okay, because this is what you'll get knowledge off of this. Pass. Okay, we're at 20 seconds, Neil Warden, so we will pass. So the answer is Dr. James E. McDonald. Dr. James E. McDonald. All right, let's get into the next question. What is the name of the incident in 1964 where an alleged UFO encounter resulted in burns and injuries to a Brazilian farmer? There's a clue there. Brazilian farmer. Name of the incident in 1964. You can give me the farmer's name. You don't have to give the incident if you don't have it. Nope. Not Mortimer Sneed. Don't worry. 20 seconds and we will pet. That is Antonio Villas-Boas. Antonio Villas-Boas. And I know you guys have heard that. It wasn't right there in your front-facing memory, and that's okay. It's about education at the end of the day. So, next question. Which U.S. president publicly acknowledged his interest in UFOs and stated, quote, "I don't laugh at people anymore when they say they've seen UFOs"? Which U.S. president? Yeah, yours came in late, Orez, but I'll give it to you. Because I know the chat is delayed. You came in right after I said it, and I know there is actually a delay on the streaming, so I'll give that one to you, Orez, because you did come in right after I said it, so I will give you that. Okay, and someone gave the answer here to the current question, and you are correct, Timothman. Let me make sure no one else. Yeah, okay, Timothman. It was President Jimmy Carter. Okay. So now this is this one. Think about it, because I already know what you're probably going to answer, but we're going to go to this one. What is the name of the region? What is the name of the region in Nevada that's home to numerous UFO conspiracy theories, including claims about Area 51? Key, what is the region in Nevada that's home to numerous UFO conspiracy theories, including claims about Area 51? What do they call that area? I'll give you a clue. What is the technical name for that area? No, no. Once I say it, you'll say, "Oh, okay." So I'll go ahead and give it to you. Let me make sure no one's delayed on the answer. Oh, Kim, pretty close. Can you be more specific, Kim? Kim is so close. I'll wait for that. If you could add to that, Kim. Okay. All right. Going once, going twice. No. Kim almost had it, man. It was the Nevada Test and Training Range, is the term that they use for that area. It's all over the signs out there. Kim, you were almost there. I know. You were right there. So, okay. This one for the historians. Which famous musician claimed to have witnessed the UFO in New York City in 1974 and even wrote a song about the experience? Which famous musician? Yeah, using Bing search. Try to use your brain if you can, but hey, I can't stop you from. Okay. All right. So according to let this all get current, and it looks like it was Tim Mothman that got it right, which was John Lennon. John Lennon wrote a song about his experience UFOs. It just goes to show that not only normal people have them, you have entertainers, presidents, they're all seeing these things. So with that being said, Jimi Hendrix, I know, did as well, but I think in a different year. All right, so pretty easy, hopefully. In 1980, a series of sightings and encounters occurred near a U.S. military base in which English forest? (1980) series of sightings and encounters occurred near a military base in which English forest? Here we go. They're rolling in. Is it Mr. Derek Galloway for the win? Rendlesham Forest. Definitely Rendlesham Forest. All right. Okay. So let me see. That was that one. Let me jump into a couple cryptid ones. Let me get into some cryptid ones here. So what is the name of the lake monster said to inhabit a lake in Scotland? Yeah, I was gonna say I would have hoped LBL would have been the first one to get that, right? I would have thought, but it looks like it's gonna be Susie B with Nessie. Oh, I would have thought LBL would have been on that one, man. Dr. Love, where you at? Okay. Let's go with another cryptid one here. Which cryptid is said to inhabit the Himalayan mountain range? Which cryptid is said to inhabit the Himalayan mountain range? Another name. A different name. I don't know if they. Okay, no, there you go. No, we'll take that. We'll take that. It goes by multiple names, but looks like Susie B did get that. It is Yeti, and it's also referred to as the abominable snowman. So there we go, Susie B. Susie B is on the board. All right. Let's see. Let me make sure. Oh, okay. Which cryptid is associated with sightings in Point Pleasant, West Virginia in the 1960s? I know who should get this one. I know who should definitely get this one. Oh, Derek Galloway, quick on the draw, Derek Galloway got it. It's the Mothman. And I just knew Tim Mothman would have had that. So we had an LVL gimme, we had a Tim Mothman gimme. All right. Let's see here. Okay, let me see. What would be a good one here? What would be a good one? Let's see who knows this one. What legendary sea monster, often associated with Norse mythology, is said to dwell off the coast of Norway and Greenland? Which legendary sea monster, often associated with Norse mythology, is said to dwell off the coast of Norway and Greenland? Okay, we're looking good, man. It's getting competitive. Getting a lot of different people doing that. Okay, we had Black Dragon come through. What I can tell, the first one, which is the Kraken. Unleash the Kraken. Okay, great. I didn't think people were gonna really get that fast. So that shows your knowledge level is up there. That is definitely up there. So let's see. This should be gimme. So you might want to get your fingers ready for this one because this one is so easy. What legendary creature reported to be a giant ape-like being is famous cryptid in North American folklore? Whoa, I would think it'd be just the chat would blow up on that. Okay. Let's see. Okay. It's not Godzilla, Susie B. But it is Bigfoot, O-Red. So Bigfoot for the win, or Sasquatch. O-Red came through first. That's tribute to Dave Scott. Okay. Gonna jump back into some more UFO stuff here. In 2004, U.S. Navy pilots encountered unidentified aerial phenomenon UAPs off the coast of which U.S. state? 2004 Tic Tac incident off the coast of what U.S. state? What was the state? Off the coast of which state? Oh, Derek Galloway, what are you doing? Voice to chat? Voice to text or something here, Derek? Derek is doing voice to text. But it is California, my state, the state that I reside in, the great state of California. Derek Galloway's doing voice to chat. I know he's got to be. It's fast. You're fast, man. Lightning fast. All right. What is the term for a supposed secret government insider with knowledge of extraterrestrial contact or UFO related operations. What is the term for a person who is a supposed secret government insider with knowledge of extraterrestrial contact or UFO related operations? Jeez, Derek, are you cheating? Debster says you're cheating, man. Hold on, Debster says Derek is cheating. However, Derek didn't spell it right. So Derek said a wistic blower. I don't know what that is, Derek. I don't know what that is. So we got to give it to Chicago 420 for the win. Chicago 420. Whistleblower. All right. Which astronomer and ufologist co-founded the Center for UFO Studies, or CUFOS, and contributed to the scientific study of UFOs? Which astronomer and ufologist co-founded the Center of UFO Studies, CUFOS, and contributed to the scientific study of UFOs? Dr. J. Allen Hynek. Were you second, Deb? Let me go back. On whistleblower, Chicago 420. Yeah, in my feed, Deb, it has you right after Chicago 420. And let's see. All right, so Mothman, Hynek, we'll go with that. J. Allen Hynek is Dr. J. Allen Hynek is the answer. All right. Back to cryptids. Which cryptid is believed to attack and drink the blood of livestock? Which cryptid is believed to attack and drink the blood of livestock? This is a fairly common cryptid. Okay. We go back. Okay, looks like the first person in with that answer is gonna be Susie B. Chupacabra. Chupacabra is known for doing something like drinking the blood of livestock. Wow. Makes you have to rethink these cattle anatomy reconfigurations, is what we'll say. Okay. All right. Okay, let's see. I've never heard of this one. Now, somebody this will probably be a pass. Somebody gets this one, man. It should count as 2 points. But what cryptid is a werewolf-like creature in Argentine in your Uruguayan folklore? Somebody gets this. I've never heard of this cryptid. But this will be some good knowledge here. Ooh, not a dog man. This is a cryptid. It's Argentine and Uruguayan folklore. Yeah. It is a tough one. So this one is going to be something called a lobazan. Lobizon. Lobazan. So maybe that's something you guys can research on your time and learn something about that particular cryptid. But yeah, according to this. All right. So We just had Long Island Bigfoot here. He said something about this during the talk. So this one should be a gimme. If everybody was paying attention to Mike, Long Island Bigfoot. Which cryptid is a legendary creature said to inhabit the Pine Barrens of New Jersey? He said it. World Bigfoot Radio. I'm giving that to World Bigfoot Radio, the last one, just because he got it. Oh no. Long Island Bigfoot gave everyone the answer on this. Okay, I see it. I see it in here. Let me go back. World Bigfoot Radio, I think, got this one too. First, it would be the Jersey Devil. The Jersey Devil. Legendary creature said to inhabit Pine Barrens of New Jersey. Jersey Devil. So, to be fair, because it's been actually pretty spread out today, which is actually pretty good. Let me have another list here I will pull from. Okay. All right. In 1989, this supposed alleged government contractor claimed to have worked on extraterrestrial technology at a facility near Area 51. Who is it? Yes, I see it. I see it. I just like hearing the name Bob Lazar. So the answer is Bob Lazar. Lex Diaz for the win. Bob Lazar. Old Bobby Lazar. Hopefully, according to Jim Goodall, what he said in the last interview last week after hours, if you remember, that there might be something coming. I know that was too easy, SG. But some of them have to be. But Jim Goodall did say maybe we could expect something from old Bobby Lazar, old Robert Lazar by the end of the year. So I guess I don't know. We'll see. Okay, let's see. Okay, this one's a Canadian question. I don't know how many Canadians are out there. We know Dave Scott is. If he's out there, maybe he can give this answer. In 1996, which city in the Yukon, Canada, gained attention for a mass UFO sighting known as Lake LaBerge incident? So who knows Canadian UFO history? We got any Canadians that know this one? 1996, Yukon. Which city in Yukon, Canada? Let me see if anyone has put it in here. No, nobody yet. So I'll go ahead and give you the answer. And this one, maybe you can impress Dave with this. If he ever asks the question, you'll know it. So answer is going to be Whitehorse. Would be the city in Yukon, Canada. Would be Whitehorse. So if Dave asks you about that, you can impress him with that. Okay, let me see. One that you might know. I'm gonna go for one. This one is pretty easy. Pretty easy. So everyone should get this right off the bat. But what is the name of the controversial video footage released by the U.S. Department of Defense showing U.S. Navy pilots encountering unidentified aerial phenomenon? The name of the controversial video footage released by the DoD showing U.S. Navy pilots encountering unidentified aerial phenomenon. And it is not Tic Tac. Okay, I think somebody got it. Yes, somebody did get it, and that is going to be, where did I just see that at? Okay, let me make sure I'm looking at the first person. Okay, so that is going to be Lex Diaz, which would be the gimbal video. The gimbal video. That would be the correct answer. All right, and let's ask this question here. What is Dave Scott's alien friend? Who is Dave Scott's alien friend? Hasn't seen him in a while. Dave Scott's friend. He's an alien. Hasn't seen him. Okay, here we go. Okay, yes, that would be, looks like Jeremy Jones with Carl. Always talks about Alien Carl. Alien Carl. Okay, let's see. Let's bring another spaced out question. Let me think. Let me think. Okay, we could probably go with. I don't want to give you too easy of a one. Who is the person filling in for Super Duke World Bigfoot Radio? Who is the person filling in for Super Duke World Bigfoot Radio? That would be correct. Wait, who got it first though? Looks like that was Tomothman. That would be Robin McCrae. I'm sorry, I forgot her name. She was gonna be McCrae. So I forgot. So what's Robin Hayes? Oh, okay, Robin Hayes. So I should give somebody something for that too. Robin Hayes. Let's go. Okay. All right. And what is the first and last name of the cryptid huntress? The world famous cryptid huntress. That would be none other than Jessica Jones, the cryptid huntress. Make sure to check her out Saturday and Sunday, 7 p.m. Pacific time, and translate that to wherever you are in the globe. And then right after her is What Show? What Show comes on right after Jessica Jones every Saturday and Sunday? What Show? There we go. I see it. I see it. The only show to watch after Jessica Jones, Saturday and Sunday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, is After Hours with your host, Mr. Rob G, as we get into all sorts of you know what and who knows what as we build up this After Hours program. We've knocked it down and we're building it back up to the top, and this will be the top rated show in not too long. You just give it some time. All right, two more. We'll do one cryptic question and then one UFO question, and then we'll tally the numbers. Okay, I'll do some easy ones so you don't have to think too hard. Okay. Who authored the book The Day After Roswell, claiming firsthand knowledge of the US government's involvement with extraterrestrial technology? Who authored the book The Day After Roswell, claiming firsthand knowledge of the US government's involvement in extraterrestrial technology? Oh, somebody got it. Somebody got it. Actually, that was pretty okay. Nice. Looks like it was Jeremy Jones. Jeremy Jones got that. Got that. And Amy WC, there are prizes. The prize is the bragging rights amongst your space traveling peers and having your name attached to the video uh, for all eternity, forever, saying that you won this trivia. So there are prizes, and the consolation prize is the knowledge that you gain from getting these answers, and maybe you didn't know them. And there's a lot of people out there that probably don't know the answers, or and this is a good way for them to kind of retain that or absorb knowledge. So it's a two-folded prize. All right, last question. It's going to be the cryptid themed, and let me just get one I know everybody knows for the win. Okay, and this is for all Aussies out there. I know we have some Aussies. So, in Australian folklore, what is the name of the cryptid that resembles a large ape-like creature said to inhabit remote areas? In Australian folklore, what is the name of the cryptid that resembles a large ape-like creature said to inhabit remote areas? Okay, we got it. We got it. We got it. We got it. World Bigfoot Radio, who is the expert on the subject, so he knew right away before I even finished saying it. But a lot of other people got it too. But World Bigfoot Radio for the win for that round. But Tim Mothman, Lovey Love, Dogface, Derek Galloway, Lightwalk, or let's see, a lot of people got it. That was just good. It's actually really good. Okay, so let's wrap this one up. Let's count the winner, the who got what. All right, so let me see. Gizmo, okay, Gizmo got one. Ored's toothbrush has 2. Timotman has Timotman has 4. 4 is a number to beat. Derek Galloway, using voice to chat, has 1, 2, has 3. Timotman still the leader. Let's see, Chicago 420 got 1. Let's see, Susie B, 2, 3. Ooh, Susie B is 5. Susie B's crushing. Okay, Susie B might be the winner today. And World Bigfoot Radio. Let's see what you got here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, World Bigfoot Radio got 3. Lex Diaz was creeping. It got a few here. Looks like Lex Diaz got 2. Jeremy Jones has 2. And that's where we ended. So Susie B is the winner of tonight's trivia. Killed it, crushed it. So Susie B's name will be put with fire emojis and all sorts of different emojis saying that she's the winner of tonight's trivia. And we'll be trying something probably a little different next week. And then we'll throw this in occasionally. But we're just going to try, once again, things that create audience engagement. We want you to feel a part of what we're doing and something that's a little bit fun. So with that being said, Susie B, the winner tonight. And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump into, there was a couple weird stories of the week that we actually wanted to look at. So let me go ahead and get us switched over for that. Let's see, some weird news. Let's get into some weird news. Okay, so weird news of the night. Got a couple stories that I had actually pinned. Okay, this one was crazy. This one is crazy. Let me read this to you. So, I couldn't believe the story when I read it. Now, this story is from Friday, the 22nd of September. So, maybe a little over a week ago. The title of this story is, if you can believe this, crocodile saved dog stranded in river instead of eating it. Impossible case of emotional empathy. Let me read that title again because that's bananas. Crocodiles save dog stranded in river instead of eating it. Impossible case of emotional empathy. 3 crocodiles saved a dog seeking refuge in a river in a possible display of emotional empathy. A report published in the Journal of Threatened Taxa outlines how a young dog was observed being chased by a pack of feral dogs and entered the shallow waters of the Savitri River in India's Mahasarata. The dog had not spotted the 3 mugger crocodiles floating nearby, which began edging closer to what appeared to be certain prey. The adult reptiles, described by the Wildlife Institute of India as, quote, opportunistic predators, instead pushed the dog to the safety using their snouts. They even guided him to an area of the riverbank that wasn't occupied by the feral pack, allowing the dog to make a safe escape on land. It was an action the journal said may have been down to, quote, sentient behavior suggestive of cross-species empathy. The curious incident was uncharacteristic of crocodiles. The species can grow to over 16 feet and are known to pose a major threat to humans who encroach on their natural habitats in India, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, and Nepal. Given that the mugger was well within the striking range and could have easily devoured the dog, yet none of them attacked and instead chose to nudge it back towards the bank, implies that the hunger drive was absent. We propose this to be a case of sentient behavior of the mugger representing in cross-species emotional empathy, which is not a very extensively investigated behavior, though capacity of one species to experience the emotional feelings of another species merits recognition. The curious case of a dog rescued by the group of crocodiles reported here seems more on the lines of empathy than altruistic behavior. However, there is little research done on such mental faculties of reptiles. Whoa, okay? When have you ever heard of a case of a reptile or crocodile saving anything? As soon as something hits the water, it's lunch or it's dinner. In this case, though, they saved a dog. That's pretty amazing. This report is from a week ago. Here's another weird, crazy story that I found over the last week. This happened September 25th. or at least it was reported September 25th. So, Gainesville, Florida. Let me read the title first, actually. Florida police pull over 2 kids driving mom's car on the freeway 200 miles from home. The children told deputies the girl had been upset with her mother that her mother had taken away her electronic devices for misbehaving. So the boy was driving her to California. He was driving her right out here where I'm at, from Florida to California. So a 10-year-old Florida boy and his 11-year-old sister, who were running away to California, drove 200 miles in their mother's car before they were stopped by sheriff's deputies on an interstate highway, authorities said. The Alachua County Sheriff's Office says deputies spotted the sedan on Interstate 75 near Gainesville in North Florida. Is that by you, Derek? Just before 4 a.m. 4 a.m. Just before 4 a.m. Thursday. The children's mother had reported it stolen and her children missing for hours earlier in Northport, a city in southwest Florida. The deputies, thinking that they were dealing with car thieves, drew their guns and ordered those inside the car to step out. Much to their surprise, deputies observed a 10-year-old male driver exit the vehicle along with his 11-year-old sister, the department said in a statement. The children told the deputies the girl had been upset that her mother had taken away her electronics for misbehaving, so the boy was driving her to California. The children were interviewed by detectives who said there was no indication that they had been mistreated by their mother or anyone else in the home. The mother declined to press charges and the children were released to her. The names of the mother and children were not released. Wow. Okay. Crazy. So that's two crazy stories that I thought were worth talking about. I had another one. There was a Coast Guard. The Coast Guard arrested a man actually that was running in a giant hamster wheel across the Atlantic Ocean. He was trying to, in a huge hamster wheel that floated, he was trying to make his way to New York. And he had done this many, many times. And the Coast Guard had come out and stopped this guy from going on this trip, knowing that how it would most likely end. But this guy kept trying, right? They ended up shooting the balloons on his huge, I don't know if I can even, I wish I had the picture, but it was a huge hamster wheel with like flotation devices all around it. So they shot the flotation devices so that the whole thing would sink into the water. It just lets you know what type of people are out there. People that think that they can get in a hamster wheel and successfully make 1,000-mile trip up the East Coast in the Atlantic Ocean up to New York. So they saved this guy's life many a times. There's a lot of crazy weird stories. You wouldn't even realize some of the stuff that's going on out there. So we'll end up covering some more of these at times. Like I said, this will be a segment, weird stories, that we'll throw in occasionally. We'll move it around. We'll kind of play with it. And we're going to formulate the best show that you've ever seen here at After Hours. This is going to be the must come to place. It's going to be where it's happening. So, you know, we, like I said, we've knocked this thing down to the ground and we are literally rebuilding this. So thought that was fun. Let's see what people say in the crowd about that. Crazy stories, right? Crazy stories. World Bigfoot Radio commenting on the lion story. I mean, the dog crocodile story. Says, "Oh, this must be different." Okay, lions chased into a small pond the croc was in. They wouldn't go in the water to get it. After the lions left, the croc pushed the exhausted critter out of the water with his snout. So there are other cases then of them doing things like that. I didn't think that that would be the case. They seem so emotionless, and you wouldn't think that they would actually do such a thing. Let's see what else we have in here. Brown dog. So, okay, to the kids in the car, we have Susie B saying 200 miles and they barely notice someone barely seeing over the steering wheel. Not only that, they caught him at 2 in the morning. So, 200 mile, and this is in who knows if they knew how to do the speed limit or not. So, we couldn't really tell how much time, when they would have left, but they were caught at 4 in the morning, which is crazy to even think about. Two little kids like that. But then that also shows how, some kids may be lacking discipline out there when you can feel like you can get mad over your electronics being taken and then just say, hey, I'm just going to take the car and drive to California because I'm mad. Yeah, that wouldn't have worked in my day. It wouldn't have worked in my day. I know what would have happened in my day once the police brought me back. I probably would have asked to stay with the police because it wouldn't have ended that well. Roundorf, he says they wouldn't have gotten that far in California. Let me tell you, $7 a gallon, right? Where was the gas money at? Did they have gas money? So I guess they were going to go until they ran out of gas, or did they take money too? They didn't say. Sabrina Rianga, as I consider running away, but I never consider stealing the car to do it. Yeah, these kids nowadays, I'll tell you, right? Going to the next level with it. Everybody's thought about that, but never doing all that. Let's see. Lovey Love, Dr. Love. I love Gators, Crocs, so much respect for them. Also terrified of them primordial survival. Yeah. Think if you fell into a pool of Crocs and then they tried to save your life. I don't know. I don't know that could happen. Let's see. Pretty crazy, man. Pretty crazy. Mom should have pressed charges. Mom should have. Well, we don't know what happened afterwards, but hopefully she pressed charges at the house. Hopefully she pressed charges there. Her own charges. Okay, so no, Debster. Thanks for thanks, Rob G. Debster. Thanks for coming. Thanks for helping us build this thing back up. Because we're doing it. We're doing it. Brick by brick. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cowboys firing. This is what I was looking for. Because this is actually what would have happened. So my mom would have, yeah. I'll let you figure out how he finishes that. Knocked my poop out. Okay. Okay. I didn't want to say it. Cowboys 5 rings said it. Soon to be Cowboys 6 rings said it. World Bigfoot Radio. He used to breed exotic reptiles. Some of them grew very smart. I would imagine if they've been around for billions of years and survived cataclysmic events, they have to be on some level pretty smart. So, yeah, I'm glad you guys hung out. It's been a fun time. Fun time. Way to unwind, get ready for your work week. Do like Debster says, please assault that like button. Assault the like button. Assault it. Okay. All right. And I hope everybody had a great time. I enjoyed you guys. And like I said, step by step, we're going to be rebuilding this thing. So as we go ahead and get ready to close this out, as we get ready to take this thing on home, I want to go ahead and thank all the super chatters. Let me get back up. It was the Debster for sure. Let me get to the top here. Oh, can't get to the top here. So many comments. All right. Thank all the super chatters. Here I am, the Debster, everybody else. Consider joining the Space Travelers Club. Take the next step. It's $5 per month. You can join on our Patreon. We appreciate your support tonight, and to all the viewers all around the globe, thanks for tuning in. Tuning your frequency to Spaced Out Radio, where we do what we do best. And what is that, guys? We own the night. You guys take care. Till next week.